So we have two little monsters here that want to do something very special. They want to do the Pledge of Allegiance, which they do every single night. You guys want to take it away?
Yeah. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, and indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That was pretty neat.
That's real America, ladies and gentlemen. That's America. That's what we love about this country. Hey guys, we as a family love you so much. This is the greatest political movement ever created. And you know what, guys? They tried to stop him. They tried to indict him. They tried to take him down. They raided his home. They went after his children. They tried to bankrupt him. They tried to imprison him. They did everything they could to stop this movement, and they failed. And here we are in Washington, D.C. on this beautiful day, and Donald J. Trump is about to take back the White House. And guys, our country is back. Our country will be respected again. We as Americans will be proud again. America will be feared again. We are going to have the greatest nation on earth. The nonsense ends. The bullshit ends right now. We love you. We love you. We love you. Thank you for having me be such a big part of this journey.
All right, Eric, Trump talking about all that his father has gone through over the last several years, the assassination attempts last summer, very difficult time for the family, obviously, and we're about to welcome President Trump in just moments, so stick around, and we will see you back here tomorrow for our special coverage all day long of the inauguration of President Donald Trump as the 47th president.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Five. The first family is now speaking. Incoming first son Eric Trump and his family before President-elect Trump's inauguration tomorrow. Let's listen back in.
Escalator in Trump Tower 9.5 years ago, and people said it was impossible. And yet that man is the one who will save not just our country, but will save the entire world. And so I just want to quickly say thank you. Thank you guys for continuing, despite all you heard out there, to believe in Donald Trump, to stand by our family throughout this fight. Thank you for trusting me to be your co-chair of the Republican National Committee. I hope I did you proud. I made promises all over this country when I went and spoke, and I said, you're not going to cheat in this election. And they got upset when I said something around the lines of, if you are a person who wants to cheat in our election, we will find you, we will track you down, and we will prosecute you to the full extent of the law. So I said it louder next time. And this was a free, fair, and transparent election. And if there's one thing I am proud of, it's that we restored the American people's faith in our electoral system this election in 2024. We didn't do it alone. I see someone directly in front of me, Scott Pressler, who helped on that front as well. But thank you guys. This has been the honor of all of our lifetimes, to be here and fight alongside of all of you to save this country. The dawn of the golden era of America is tomorrow, right here, starting in Washington, D.C. God bless you guys. We love you. And we are almost there, folks. Thank you, guys.
Hello, America! I have to ask, has anyone ever been this excited for Monday morning to roll around? It's like Christmas, Easter, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, my birthday, all wrapped up into one special day where we can take back our country once and for all. But guys, we could not have done this without all of you. Those who stood steadfast and loyal, who wanted to fight for that next generation, to fight for the incredible aspects of this country that have been squandered, that have been crapped on, that have gone by the wayside. No more. That ends tomorrow at noon. Now, perhaps unfortunately, it took the last 4 years of hell that they put my father through, that they put our family through, that they put all of you through, for us to fully understand just how fragile everything we believe it is. But I truly believe the opportunity we have now to start anew, not to keep the old administration from 16 to 20, the bad actors and the can kickers and those who are just trying to wait it out till we get back to normal. But now, with the knowledge of that 4 years, in conjunction with the knowledge of the last 4 years, we can truly make a difference forever. When you look at this cabinet, when you look at the fighters, you see people who truly all believe in the America First movement, and that's what this is about. Putting America first, putting our families first, putting the Constitution first, and putting our children first. So with that, I have to introduce a young lady, my oldest daughter, Kai. Pretty good, Kai, I don't know. With that kind of applause from the Trump family, it creates some problems. But she was with me. She was with me when we found out about my father, her grandfather, and best golfing buddy was shot. And she called me the next morning and said, "Dad, I must speak at the RNC this week. I don't care." And I said to her, "Are you sure? You want, your first speech ever, you wanted to be in front of 50,000 people and tens of millions on TV?" And she goes, "I don't care." So I called my dad. I said, "Listen, she wants to do this." And he goes, "Whoa, that's a big one." And he just said, "You know what? That kid is an absolute winner. Let her do it." And that, again, is the fight that we all need in our country. That's what we want for all of our children. So with that, my daughter, Kai.
Hi, everyone. And hi. Thank you all for the support for the past decade, and we're looking forward to the next 4 years, and God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. You are the best. No one will fight harder than my father for all of you. There's no more resilient man in the world than Donald Trump. Every time they tried to take him out, every time they said he was finished and we're moving on, he came back bigger, better, stronger than ever before. And this one, this next 4 years, with this incredible team that we've assembled, is going to be the pièce de résistance. This is going to be it. We're going to win for all of you. So thank you, and God bless.
And that was Donald Trump Jr. and his beautiful daughter, Kai. Oh, that's Greg Gutfeld. We are here on the 5, live from Washington, D.C., and we've been watching this rally. J.D. Vance is coming up, so we will bring that to you when he starts. But I would take it around the table a little bit. Why don't I start with you and your observations so
Well, it is
far?
quite a contrast. Obviously, the people who are protesting this is extremely miserable, but why bring the misery? Why not just stay home? You have nothing to do on a Sunday. Some people are handling it like adults. Some others aren't. They're saying, "Oh, the crowds. The only reason why it's inside is because the crowds won't be huge."
No.
Excuse me.
Right.
He won the popular vote, the electoral vote, the House, and the Senate. Like what's his name? Chris Murphy?
Mm-hmm.
That was a guy on Twitter just losing it like a teenage girl cut from the cheerleading squad. What is it? They remind me of the guy who gets his ass kicked and then brags to everybody, how his battered face really took a toll on the guy's fists. If Biden was there, if Biden was here tomorrow, he would get frostbite from the liquid in his diaper.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I
Ladies and gentlemen, President Donald J. Trump.
From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA. There's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, Ladies and gentlemen, the 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
Lee Greenwood. Beautiful.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. We won. We won. Thank you very much, everybody. What a good feeling.
Take your seat, Peekaboo. Take your seat. Thank you.
We're going to make our country greater than ever before. Hello, Washington, and hello, America. We're all over America. I'm thrilled to be back with so many friends, supporters, and true American patriots on the eve of taking back our country. That's what we're going to do, take back our country. Tomorrow at noon, the curtain closes on 4 long years of American decline, and we begin a brand new day of American strength and prosperity, dignity and pride. Bringing it all back. Once and for all, we're going to end the reign of a failed and corrupt political establishment in Washington, a failed administration. We're not going to take it anymore. We're going to stop the invasion of our borders. We're going to reclaim our wealth. We're going to unlock the liquid gold that's right under our feet. Liquid gold. We're going to bring back law and order to our cities. We're going to restore patriotism to our schools, get radical left, woke ideologies the hell out of our military and out of our government. And we are going to make America great again.
Amen. Praise the Lord. That's the ammunition of godly principles. Red, yellow, brown, black, and white were all precious in Jesus' sight.
I want to thank the tens of thousands of incredible men and women who have come from all over the nation to take part in this very special moment. And I just heard in watching some of the coverage that there are rallies like this taking place all over the country. People are happy. People are happy. It's been a long time.
June and I are certainly happy.
None of this would have been possible without you and the millions of hardworking citizens who have joined our cause. You know, right over there, just noticed a group of beautiful ladies, beautiful women from North Carolina, right here too. I don't know how the hell they've been to 167 rallies. You believe it? You think their husbands are happy about that? I don't know. But they look beautiful. They're incredible people, and they love our country. Thank you very much. Then up here I see we have front row Joes all over the place. Uncle Sam, Mr. Wall. Ah, boy, oh boy. But we've been through so much together, and for the next 4 years, I will fight for you every single day. We're going to be fighting for you. This is the greatest political movement in American history. And 75 days ago, we achieved the most epic political victory our country has ever seen. That's what they say. We won the popular vote for the first time of any Republican in many, many years. We swept all 7 swing states by big numbers. We won Pennsylvania, we won Georgia, we won North Carolina, we won Michigan, we won Wisconsin, we won Arizona, we won Nevada. We won them all by historic margins, and we won the great state of Florida by 13 points. Nobody's done that ever.
And we won Kentucky. Praise the Lord. The Commonwealth.
A record that will never be broken. All 50 states shifted toward the Republican Party, the first time that that's ever happened. All 50 states. We won the largest number of African-American voters in Republican Party history. We won more Hispanic American votes than any Republican has ever gotten before by a lot. And we won Latino men and women, and on top of that, youth, men, women, urban, suburban, rural, and people from everywhere in between are joining us in record numbers. We've never had anything like this. Too big to rig, that's what I used to say. Too big to rig. We made it too big. Oh, and they tried. They tried. It was too big. Around 9:02, they just said, let's get the hell out of here. This isn't working. They were swamped, to put it nicely. We also took back the U.S. Senate. We had some great people running. And the House Republicans won their largest popular vote majority in presidential years since 1928. We had a lot of people voting. So the Senate, the House Republicans, we got all 3 of them. A little bit close on those 2. Senate's in great shape. House Republicans, actually, they both have great leaders. They both have great people. Heading John Thune is fantastic. And if you look at Mike Johnson, he's got pretty tight majority, but actually it's very tight, but it's very good because we vote unified. We're really voting unified, and so it doesn't make much difference. In the election of 2024, which will be the most consequential election in American history, we not only won a mandate, but we built a new American majority that will lead our country to unparalleled success for generations to come. That's what we want to do. And someday, in 30 years from now, 40 years from now, 50 years from now, some of these young people are going to say, I remember Donald Trump, he did a good job. He set us on his way. He told us, he gave us a path. Our new administration will inherit disasters at home and abroad, an economy plagued by inflation and high interest rates, a catastrophic border crisis. Nobody can believe they let people in. They have an open border policy. Do you think that makes sense? Open borders. Anybody wants to. Jails, prisons, mental institutions, gangs being emptied right through that ugly open border. A government that cannot care for its citizens in a time of emergency. Look at what's happening in Los Angeles. Look at what's happening in North Carolina. They've treated them so badly. In a planet on the brink of World War III. It's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. But starting tomorrow, I will act with historic speed and strength and fix every single crisis facing our country. We have to do it. We're not going to have a country left. Before even taking office, you are already seeing results that nobody expected to see. Everyone is calling it I don't want to say this, it's too braggadocious, but we'll say it anyway. The Trump effect. It's you. You're the effect. Since the election, the stock market has surged and small business optimism has soared a record 41 points to a 39-year high. Bitcoin has shattered one record high after another. The major investment company known as DeMac, the properties, has announced that it will be investing between $20 and $40 billion in the United States, and SoftBank, another great company, has pledged between $100 and $200 billion. These are all investments that are only being made because of the fact that we won the election. Can they create jobs for hundreds of thousands, even millions of Americans? Today I spoke with Tim Cook of Apple. He said they're going to make a massive investment in the United States because of our big election win. And as of today, TikTok is back. So, you know, I did a little TikTok thing. We have a guy, TikTok Jack. He's a young kid, like 21 years old. And we hired this guy, and I went on TikTok. Can you believe what I'll do to win an election? And we went on TikTok, and Republicans have never won the young vote, the youth vote. They win a lot of votes, but they never won the youth vote. We won the youth vote by 36 points. So I like TikTok. I like it. I like it. I had a slightly good experience, would you say? Romney lost it by 40 points. Not so long ago, we won it by 36 points. That's a very big spread. But I said we need to save TikTok because we're talking about a tremendous... Who in this audience goes with TikTok? Many? Yeah, very popular. And frankly, we have no choice. We have to save it. A lot of jobs. We don't want to give our business to China. We don't want to give our business to other people. And I said, you know, TikTok without my approval, meaning the president's approval, because Congress gave the president the right to make a deal, do whatever he wants. And they did that a long time ago when they had a different president. They didn't know that I was going to be the president, I guess. So I said, very simply, a joint venture. So if TikTok is worth nothing, zero, without an approval. You know, if you don't approve, they're out of business, they're worth nothing. If you do approve, they're worth like $1 trillion. They're worth some crazy number. So I said, I'll approve, but let the United States of America own 50% of TikTok. I'm approving on behalf of the United States. So they'll have a partner, the United States, and they'll have a lot of bidders, and the United States will do what we call a joint venture. And there's no risk. We're not putting up any money. All we're doing is giving them the approval, without which they don't have anything. So, I don't know, it sounds like that works. What do you think? Good? So whether you like TikTok or not, we're going to make a lot of money. Perhaps most beautiful of all, this week we achieved an epic ceasefire agreement as a first step toward lasting peace in the Middle East. And this agreement could only have happened as a result of our historic victory in November. That was some victory. Was that the greatest? I don't even know which was greater, 2016 or this one. I think this one. Look, Honest Abe Lincoln. We have Honest Abe. We have Uncle Sam. You know, Uncle Sam shook my hand about 2 months ago. He's got the strongest grip I've ever. You are a strong man. I said, what the hell was that? But I'm glad to report that the first hostages have just been released. And who knows what's going to happen. I know that Biden is saying that they made the deal. Well, you know, I mean, that deal should have, first of all, it would have never happened if I were president. Would have never happened. There was not even a thought of it. Iran was broke. They had no money for Hezbollah. They had no money for Hamas. They had no money. They were broke, totally broke, and they would have never done anything. But they did it, you know. I like to think back to the past. I said, if only the election weren't rigged, all the things that would have happened, that would have been so good. But it was. We're not going to let that happen again. I want to thank my friend Steve Witkoff, who I think is here. I know he made a beautiful speech. I heard he made a great speech. But he's an amazing guy. I said, I got to get myself a negotiator. We have to get a good negotiator. A lot of guys are knowledgeable, but they can't negotiate. They don't have the personality or whatever. And Steve does, and Steve's a great negotiator, very successful guy. But he's our new special envoy to the Middle East for helping reach this great breakthrough, and really couldn't have been done without Steve. Where is Steve Witkoff? Is he around here someplace? Because he was so great. There he is. Hello, Steve. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Steve. What a job. Our incoming administration has achieved all of this in the Middle East in less than 3 months without being president. We've achieved more without being president than they've achieved in 4 years with being president. But just imagine all of the good things that we will accomplish together with 4 more years in the White House, and we're going to do a lot of things. You're going to see something tomorrow. You're going to see executive orders that are going to make you extremely happy. Lots of them. Lots of them. We have to set our country on the proper course. By the time the sun sets tomorrow evening, the invasion of our borders will have come to a halt, and all the illegal border trespassers will in some form or another be on their way back home. Think of it. We've allowed millions and millions of people into our country through open borders, no checks, no vetting, no anything. Millions and millions of people. And lots of those people are murderers. 52% of them killed more than one person. Other than that, they're quite fine. They're nice people. These are rough people. Remember, I used to say these people are rough. And they would say, no, no, these are illegal immigrants. They're very safe. I said, they're not safe. Look at what's happened with Venezuela, where they're sending these gangs in and they're taking over apartment complexes in Colorado and then cutting off the fingers of a man who had the nerve and desire to call the police. He said, you want to call the police? Bah, guess what? You have no fingers. These are rough people, and they're getting the hell out of our country. They're out. The border security measures I will outline in my inaugural address tomorrow will be the most aggressive, sweeping effort to restore our borders the world has ever seen. You know, we had the best, safest border in the history of our country. You remember that with the great chart that I put up. I don't even know if they have that chart now. Maybe they do. These guys are good. Maybe they do. Who the? I don't know. I didn't tell them I was going to do this. I didn't tell, but we have some very good people, but I didn't say. But we had a chart, and I looked to my right, and then I said, ooh, that was it. That hurt. What the hell was that? I still have that throbbing feeling in my ear. Oh, there it is. Look at it. These people are amazing. I didn't tell them I was doing that. That's fantastic. Yeah, it's all over the place. I love that. That is the most beautiful piece of paper I've ever seen in my life. But if you look at that chart, and you look at the red arrow on the bottom, that's the single lowest we ever had in history, at least recorded history, of illegals pouring into our country. We had done a great job, and then they took over, and look what happened. It's like an Elon Musk rocket ship going up. That reminds me of Elon, his rocket ships. Look at that, look at the difference. And it just continued and continued, and we're taking in people that shouldn't be here. They come in from prisons, from jails. They shouldn't be here, mental institutions. I used to mention, and the press would always excoriate me, I'd say, the late, great Hannibal Lecter came into our country today. Silence of the Lambs. Anybody see that movie? Lovely movie. And when people went to the voter booth, they said, we don't want Hannibal Lecter in our country. The press would say, why is he bringing up Hannibal Lecter? That was a fictitious character. Actually, they're not so fictitious. We have people in our country that are probably worse that we allowed in. But we will quickly reestablish control of our sovereign territory and borders. We will expel every single illegal alien, gang member, and migrant criminal operating on American soil, and remove the savage gang Trendy-Raqua from the United States. Here's a little video for you to see about this gang. Go ahead.
Open borders, deadly consequences.
Border crisis, record high crossings are putting a strain on cities across America. It is a full-blown invasion.
Armed Venezuelan gang members storming an apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado.
When people talk about like good crime, this is what they're talking about.
San Antonio, Texas, just one of the latest cities to have apartment complexes taken over by members of the Venezuelan gang.
Biden and Harris have created a program to bring them in under humanitarian parole.
I am in favor of saying that we're not going to treat people who are undocumented cross-border as criminals.
More than 13,000 illegal immigrants convicted of murder have been released into the United States.
My 20-year-old daughter, Kayla Hamilton, was murdered in her own room. Kayla's murderer was apprehended by Border Patrol crossing illegally into the U.S.
Kayla's murderer had been improperly released into the United States.
Abolish ICE. Yeah, we need to probably think about starting from scratch.
More than a dozen people suspected of being Trendy-Raqua gang members right here in San Antonio.
The gang members had been terrorizing the apartment complex.
New details in the murder of Laken Riley. The illegal immigrant suspect, who cops say committed the heinous murder, is a Venezuelan national.
He was paroled and released into the country by the Biden administration.
If they'd all been properly vetted, that probably wouldn't have happened.
2 men investigators say are in the country illegally from Venezuela are charged with capital murder in the death of Jocelyn Nungaray.
Martinez, when unheld, wrapped his arms around Jocelyn's neck, took off her pants, and climbed on top of her, later strangled Jocelyn to death, and then tied up her hands and feet.
Court documents suggest a group of men arrested for beating and robbing a Dallas woman last month are members of a Venezuelan street gang.
The men threatened to cut off her fingers if she did not cooperate. Manuel Hernandez was booked by Colleyville police just 2 days earlier and released the day before the robbery.
A Peruvian gang leader who is wanted for 23 murders, who was arrested by Border Patrol near Roanoke, Texas, then released into America.
That's what we allowed in, and they're nice people compared to some of them. They're nicer than others. These are really vicious people, gang members, and many, many people from prisons, and crime all over the world is down. You know why? Because they got their criminals into the United States of America. You look at Venezuela, they've emptied their prisons into our country. Many other places the same. I would have done the same if I headed up any of the countries. I know most of those guys are smart. They're leaders. They are smart, streetwise people. As soon as I heard they were going to have open borders, I said, you do that, every prison all over the world is going to be emptied out into our country. They come in from the Congo. The Congo's big on emptying their prisons. The only thing good about it is they make our criminals look like really nice people. These people are vicious people all over the world, not just South America, all over the world they come. From mental institutions and from jails and prisons.
With our actions tomorrow, my administration will deliver justice for every family whose loved one has been stolen from them by migrant crime, including Laken Riley, Rachel Morin, Jocelyn Nungari, Kayla Hamilton, and every other precious American soul that we have lost to these animals. Their memories will live in the hearts forever, in our hearts forever, and we will never, ever forget them. And their contribution, I told their mothers who were devastated, their parents, their fathers, they're devastated. They'll never be the same. They'll never be the same. But I said, your daughter has made a major contribution. Your son has made a major contribution. There are hundreds and even thousands of victims of this horrible atrocity. And you add those numbers to the numbers of crime that we're already going through the roof, and it's something that you wouldn't even believe. Do you remember I did the debate, and I had David Muir from ABC saying, no, crime has gone down. I said, no, it's gone through the roof. Crime has gone through the roof, David. No, crime has gone down. I said it's gone through the roof. And then he goes, I disagree with that. The next day they announced that crime was up like 40%. This guy is, the whole thing is so bad. You can't even imagine how anybody could be for these things of, think of it, open borders, prisons, and mental institutions, men playing in women's sports, transgender for everyone. Transgender. And very soon we'll begin the largest deportation operation in American history, large and evil, even larger than President Dwight Eisenhower, who has the record right now. And we're going to end the Biden war on American energy and unleash our energy resources to quickly defeat inflation and achieve the lowest cost of energy and electricity on earth. And we're going to be using our emergency powers to allow countries and entrepreneurs and people with a lot of money build big plants, AI plants. We need double the energy that we already have. It's going to end up being more than that. And we're going to slash the regulations, environmental regulations that are really put in there in order to stop progress in this country. We're going to also slash something else, the waste in our bloated federal bureaucracy. We will create the new Department of Government Efficiency, headed by a gentleman named Elon Musk, who's here someplace. I don't know where the hell he is. He's here someplace. Come here, Elon. Did you see his rocket yesterday? It was captured.
I like this guy.
And X is with him. X. Come on, Elon. Say a couple of words.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President. Sorry, little X just followed me on the stage here. He's a very enthusiastic supporter, as you can see. So we're looking forward to making a lot of changes, and this victory is the start, really. What matters going forward is to actually make significant changes, cement those changes, and set the foundation for America to be strong for a century, for centuries, forever. So, and make America great again. Yeah. So, yeah. So anyway, we're gonna do great things here. Thank you.
Thank you, Elon.
Yeah, that's pretty neat, isn't
I
it?
always say we have to be protective of our geniuses because we don't have too many, but that one is a good one. Now, I watched this rocket come down about 3 months ago, and I thought it was crashing. I was talking to somebody on the phone. By the way, same thing happened yesterday. It came down, and it was captured so beautifully. It came down, it's tumbling, it's a mess, it's going down. I say, oh, look at that thing, that's a disaster. And then it gets like a couple of miles away from Earth, and all of a sudden the engines start going on, the things start, and then I see it coming in and landing in the gantry, and I'm watching it and say, oh, it's gonna crash, oh, but those engines came out and they blew the fire all over the place. And all of a sudden, those two big arms came and hugged it like you would hug your little baby. And that sucker landed, and nobody's been able to do that but him. And he's a great guy. And we have him and Vivek and some great people working on a thing called costs. And he's got the credibility to do it, too. And we're going to do things that are really amazing. But he went out to Pennsylvania after that. He landed that rocket nobody had ever seen. By the way, China can't do it, Russia can't do it, or come close. It would be 10 years before they can do it. And the U.S. can't do it except for him. And it's pretty amazing. But he did that, and then he journeyed to Pennsylvania, where he spent like a month and a half campaigning for me in Pennsylvania. And he's a popular guy, and he was very effective. And he knows those computers better than anybody, all those computers, those vote counting computers. And we ended up winning Pennsylvania like in a landslide, so it was pretty good. It was pretty good. So thank you to Elon. And his son's name, who's cute as a button, his son's name is X. He's the only guy who could get away with the name X. But his son is a great guy. One thing we know, his son is smart. If you believe in the racehorse theory, he's got a nice, smart son. But thank you very much to Elon and everybody. We've had so much help. Every radical and foolish executive order of the Biden administration will be repealed within hours of when I take the oath of office. Oh, you're going to have a lot of fun watching television tomorrow. Somebody said yesterday, sir, don't sign so many in one day. Let's do it over a period of weeks. I said, like hell, we're going to do it over weeks. We're going to sign them at the beginning.
He's a doer.
Sorry, let's do it later. Then it never gets done. No, we're doing them tomorrow. And we'll have plenty to sign in the future. Don't worry about it. It's not going to stop. But we're going to stop the destructive and divisive diversity, equity, and inclusion mandates all across the government and private sector and return our country to the merit system. You know, the Supreme Court ruled that the United States is allowed to go by the merit system, which is what made us great in the first place. That was a big ruling that a lot of people don't even know about, but it was a big, tremendous ruling. And you're focusing on character, competence, and qualifications in all hiring decisions. Now you're allowed to go by competence and ability and genius. You don't have to hire somebody to send up one of his rocket ships that doesn't know anything about what's happening. As a first step toward restoring transparency and accountability to government, we will also reverse the overclassification of government documents, and in the coming days, we are going to make public remaining records relating to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, his brother Robert Kennedy, as well as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and other topics of great public interest. It's all going to be released, Uncle Sam. And I will direct our military to begin construction of the great Iron Dome missile defense shield, which will all be made in the USA. And we will get wokeness the hell out of our military immediately and make it like it used to be. Take a look at this.
Pride. Happy Pride Month, and actually, let's declare it a summer of pride.
So you're a killer? Sir, yes, sir. Let me see your war face. Sir, you got a war face? Ah! That's a war face. Now let me see your war face. Ah! Bullshit. You didn't convince me. Let me see your real war face. Ah!
I hear it and I know. I know you want to take.
You will be a weapon. You will be a minister of death, praying for war. But until that day, you are huge. You're the lowest form of life on earth. You're not even human fucking being. You're nothing but unorganized, grab-asking pieces of amphibian shit.
How to abracadabra, these bitches know I got answers, so wait out.
It must be like the best party you ran down and cracked your mama's ass and ended up as a brown stain on the mattress. I love working for Uncle Sam. I love working for Uncle Sam. Let me know just who I am. Let me know just who I am. 1, 2, 3, 4, United States Marine Corps. 1, 2, 3, 4, United States Marine Corps.
Thank you. So we won 2 world wars with that. And that's the way it's going to be. The American people have given us their trust, and in return, we're going to give them the best first day, the biggest first week, and the most extraordinary first 100 days of any presidency in American history. To implement this historic agenda, I've assembled an all-star cabinet of patriots and visionaries and reformers who will fight for America, and together we will win, win, win for America. To restore the spirit of American Armed Forces, I have appointed Pete Hegseth as our next Secretary of Defense. Where's Pete? Where's Pete? Pete's here someplace. Where is he? Good job, Pete. They like you, Pete. Thanks, Pete. They like him. To bring back integrity to our intelligence community, Tulsi Gabbard will be our next Director of National Intelligence. To make America healthy again, we will have Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as Secretary of Health and Human Services.
The team. A great
To end
team.
the weaponization of our government and restore the impartial rule of law. Oh, this is so important. She's so incredible. Pam Bondi will be an outstanding Attorney General. She's going to do an incredible job. She will do an incredible job, and she's working with another person who's going to be unbelievable at the FBI, Kash Patel. And tomorrow, everybody in this very large arena will be very happy with my decision on the J6 hostages. Very happy. I think you'll be very, very happy. I would say about 99.9% of this beautiful arena. And by the way, I want to thank the owners of this arena. They are great. They're up here someplace in one of those beautiful boxes. And their team is doing very well, and Ovechkin is a great player, right? But I want to thank Ted and all of the owners for allowing this to take place. It was really great. And thank you. It's a hell of an operation. Great place. Fantastic arena. Thank you, Ted. Thank you, everybody. At Homeland Security, we will have a tough leader in Kristi Noem, and we will have an outstanding Secretary of Transportation in Sean Duffy, Congressman Sean Duffy. Great people. And we're going to win so much that Governor Burgum of the Interior, you know Governor Burgum, one of the best governors in the country, is in charge of Department of the Interior, and the hottest man anywhere in the world for energy. When I announced him, people couldn't believe it. You didn't hear of him, but if you're in the energy business, he's considered the absolute best. Mr. Chris Wright of the Energy Department. He's going to head up the Energy Department. He's the hottest guy there is. Anybody in the energy business, they said, I can't believe you got Chris Wright. And a man named Marco Rubio is going to be our great future Secretary of State. And Howard Lutnick, a tremendous success on Wall Street, is going to be our Secretary of Commerce. They have to go through these drills, but they're going to. And I want to thank the Republican senators. They've been doing great. And John Thune has been doing a great job in moving the process along quickly. We're going to have a lot of them hopefully approved very quickly. And a very special woman, Linda McMahon, is going to be our future Secretary of Education, which we're going to be giving back to the states. Let the state run education.
Amen.
I said to Linda, Linda, I'm making you the Secretary of Education, but if you do a great job, you will put yourself out of a job because you're going to be sending it back to the states, and she's fantastic, and her staff, which has been largely hired, is fantastic. And all of the other leaders will come to me and they're going to say, do you remember I used to do this for fun? But it's really not fun, it's fact. Because we have to do some of best of, right? But they're going to come and say to me, sir, we're winning too much, sir. We can't take it anymore. We have to stop winning, sir. We can't do it. We're not used to winning in our country. And each one of them is going to say, every single one, sir, please, you're destroying our country. We're winning too much. Our country isn't prepared for this. They're not used to winning, sir. And I'll say, no, Linda and everybody, we're not going to stop winning. The people of our country want us to keep on winning, and we're going to go win like never, ever before. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to be doing it, Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam is having a heart attack down here. Look at him. Uncle Sam is going wild. And they think I pay for these people. I have no idea who he is. All I know is he does. And there's Abe Lincoln. Thank you, honest Abe. I have no idea. I swear, I have no idea who the hell he is. But he looks like Abe. He's probably a little bit shorter, in all fairness. Abe was 6'6". He's a little bit shorter. He's about a foot shorter. Other than that, he's perfect. Thank you, Abe. In addition to the most talented cabinet ever assembled, and we're hearing things like that, we will be supported in our mission by countless wonderful American patriots. First, let me thank my incredible family, and I want to thank in particular somebody that headed up the Republican Party, along with Mike, the two of them, Lara Trump, who you saw before, produced those two beautiful children. Lara Trump is unbelievable. She was the chairman of the Republican Party. And nobody ever said, oh, gee, it's a family member. They actually said, how the hell? And she did a phenomenal job. We had a minimum of cheating. We watched them like, oh, where is Laura? Where the hell is she? But she did some job. See, she wants to be nice and quiet. She's here someplace. Thank you, Laura. Thank you very much, hon. She's phenomenal. The job she did, and her son was up. Didn't they do a beautiful job? The son and the daughter. How many young kids know that one? They don't know that one. But her husband is somebody I'm very proud of. He's doing a great job. He's been subpoenaed more than any human being in history, I believe. Every day he'd get a subpoena from Congress on something, all bullshit. But he got a subpoena. He's got a PhD in subpoenas. But he did a fantastic job. And Don, you know all about Don, how he did. He's great. He's very popular, too. He knows a lot about guns, I want to tell you that. We had, by the way, I have to tell you, we had great support from every gun group, including the NRA, which really worked hard. And Ivanka and Jared are here, and Tiffany and Michael are here, and Barron and my 10 incredible grandchildren, and another one coming through Tiffany. And of course, I want to thank our next Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance. Wherever he may be, there's a lot of people. Wherever the hell he is, he's here someplace. It's a lot of people. It's a little tough when you say, where is he? You know, you got a lot of people in here. But J.D. Vance has been extraordinary. And he's got an unbelievable wife, the Second Lady of the United States, Usha Vance. So, Usha, thank you very much. Beautiful couple, great people. We're also pleased to be joined tonight by Hulk Hogan, the Hulkster. The Hulkster. One thing, it's not hard to find him. All he has to do is stand up and you say, there he is. But he's great. And Kid Rock, wow, Kid Rock is a friend of mine. He's a friend of mine for a long, long time. He did that thing on Budweiser. Budweiser will never be the same when he did the gun with a MAGA hat. That was the commercial that everybody saw. Also with us tonight is a great actor, tremendously talented guy, Jon Voight. He's great, and a friend of mine. And Sylvester Stallone is here. Great guy. And you know, I got Mel Gibson, Sylvester Stallone, and Jon Voight to become ambassadors to Hollywood, California, to put it back on track. So they're all ambassadors. You have to refer to them as ambassador, Mr. Ambassador. And a man who's got an army of young people, Charlie Kirk, is here. And I want to thank Charlie. Charlie is fantastic. I mean, this guy, don't believe the stuff when you hear the kids are liberal. They're not liberal. Maybe they used to be, but they're not anymore. You got to see how many people are for us. And I want to thank Megyn Kelly. She's been terrific. She's been really good. And Billy Ray Cyrus. And Lee Greenwood, wow, has he been something. What a song and what a man. And you know, by the way, these microphones, you see the microphones? I said, what the hell are those microphones doing standing behind me? You're going to have a little special treat at the end of this speech. I don't want to tell you because you'll rush me off the stage. Get off the stage. But you have a little special treat. And I won't tell you, but let's put it this way. It's the people that 30 years ago had a hot song, never hit #1, hit #5. But 30 years later, it hit #1 week after week. And they're here to sing. They're here to sing. For you. And you won't recognize them. They're slightly larger than they used to be, but that's the way life goes. We can all tell you, that's the way life goes. There's nothing we can do about that. Sebastian Gorka, stand up, Sebastian. I see Sebastian there. There's a patriot. He's been with me through thick and thin, right, Sebastian? Now he's with the administration. Thank you. Great guy. And again, I want to thank Elon for what he did in Pennsylvania. He worked so hard. He worked so hard in Pennsylvania. A great guy. And a man who is a champion. A man who took something from nothing. Everybody said this is something will never work. It's too violent. But he understood people. He said they like violence, unfortunately, right? But a man who understood fighting better than any man ever. There's never been anything like this. What Dana White did with the UFC and building it into a monster sport franchise. So I want to thank Dana White of USC for being here. And Dana, you've done a job like nobody could have done. Thank you. A great guy and a friend of mine. Great friend of mine. He's a tough cookie. You want him on your side at all times. Every one of those people you want on your side. And we have dozens of other celebrities and everything, but we're going to get back to what we're doing. But I do want to say, in the audience, we have many governors, many senators, many members of Congress, and other distinguished guests, far too many to name, unless you'd like me to name them. No? You want me to name governors, senators, and Congress people? No. I thought you were going to say that. Sorry, governors. No, but we appreciate all of the love that we've gotten from them. I'll tell you, our House and our Senate Republicans have been unbelievable, and the governors are unbelievable, the job they're doing. Of the crime-ridden cities, the top 25, every single one of them is run by a Democrat. Does that tell you something? We don't have problems in the Republican cities. Tonight, I also want to send our love to everyone affected by the terrible wildfires raging in California. We're praying for you all. We love you all. We're going to be there very soon. I'm going to go out there on Friday to see it and to get it moving back. We're going to get some of the best builders in the world, and we'll get it moving back. And I also want to pay my respects to the great people of North Carolina. You know, I won it every single time. And they've been treated very badly. FEMA almost didn't know it existed. And we're going to get North Carolina rocking and rolling, okay? We're going to get them rocking and rolling. They've been treated very badly as a state. Together we will rebuild Los Angeles better, more beautiful than ever before. We're going to get it going. We have the best builders in the world. It's the only people that could do it. Nobody else knows what the hell they're doing. And in 2028, the Los Angeles Olympics will be one of the great sporting events and patriotic celebrations in history. I was with Gianni, the head of the Olympics, and because of the wildfires, they're going to do a special job. They're going to really do something very special for the Olympics. And the opposite, some people said, oh, maybe the Olympics can't go there. It turned out just the opposite. They came to see me the other day, and the committee, and it's just the opposite. So the Olympics is great. And Johnny, for the others, you know, the World Cup, Johnny is the head of it. We had our top people, Wasserman. They all came in on the Olympics, and then I saw Johnny. And we got the World Cup, too. And, you know, it's only because they rigged the election that I'll be your president representing you there. You know, I got both of them. I got the Olympics, and I got the World Cup. And I said, you know, it's too bad. One was in 2026, and the other was in 2028. And I said, I won't be there. I won't be your president. But then they rigged the election, and now we won, so I'm going to be your president for the Olympics and for the World Cup. So, Johnny, thank you for the World Cup, and everybody, thank you for the Olympics. We're going to have a great time. We have another thing happening, 250 years, a celebration like no other. 250 years, and that's going to be taking place next year. So we have a lot of big events coming, and everything we do everything. We take it very, very seriously. But what do we do more than anything else? We put America first. And it all starts tomorrow when I raise my hand on the Bible to be sworn as we'll be sworn in tomorrow. We're all going to be sworn in together. That's the way I look at it. It's not me. It's you, greatest of all time. So we will be sworn in tomorrow. I'll be representing you as your 47th President of the United States. And just in conclusion, together we're going to cut your taxes, end inflation, slash your prices, getting them back down, raise your wages, and bring thousands of factories back to the USA, right where they belong, and that'll be done through tariffs and smart policy. We will build American, we will buy American, and we will hire American. I will end the war in Ukraine, I will stop the chaos in the Middle East, and I will prevent World War III from happening, and you have no idea how close we are. We will crush violent crime in our cities and give our police the support, protection, resources, and respect they so dearly deserve. We will strengthen and modernize our military again. We did it. We rebuilt our entire military. And then they gave billions and billions of dollars of it to, you remember, to the Taliban. They gave it to the Taliban. They gave our military equipment, a big chunk of it, to the enemy. Do you know that we pay billions of dollars a year? Do you know this? Does anyone know this? To Afghanistan? Do you know that? And I say, if we're going to pay billions of dollars a year, tell them we're not going to give them the money unless they give back our military equipment that these poor, stupid people allowed for them to have. So we'll give them a couple of bucks. We want the military equipment back. We will rebuild our once great cities, including our capital in Washington, D.C., making them safe, clean, and beautiful again. And we want to make this city again safe. We don't want people coming to Washington and getting mugged, shot, killed. We're going to stop it. Law enforcement, and they have very good police here, but they have to be allowed to do their job. We're going to stop it. We're going to beautify it. We're going to make it the most beautiful capital in the world. We will teach our children to love our country, to honor our history, and to always respect our great American flag. And we will get critical race theory and transgender insanity the hell out of our schools.
Amen.
And always remember, this is so easy, this will be done tomorrow. We will keep men out of women's sports.
Amen. Praise the Lord.
I will defend religious liberty. I will restore free speech, and I will defend the right to keep and bear arms. We're going to defend them. After years of building up foreign nations, defending foreign borders, and protecting foreign lands, we are finally going to build up our country, defend our borders, and protect our citizens. And we will stop illegal immigration once and for all. We will not be invaded. We will not be occupied. We will not be overrun. We will not be conquered. We will be a free and proud nation once again, and that will take place tomorrow at 12 o'clock. Everyone in our country will prosper, every family will thrive, and every day will be filled with opportunity and hope, and also filled with a thing called the American dream that you don't hear much about anymore. For the past 9 years, you and I fought side by side against the most sinister and corrupt forces on earth, and in our magnificent victory on November 5th, you showed them once and for all that this nation does not belong to them. This nation belongs to you.
The people. Amen. Amen. Praise the Lord.
From New York to Los Angeles, from Philadelphia to Phoenix, from Chicago to Miami, and from Houston to right here in Washington, D.C. Our country was won and built by generations of patriots who gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom. They were farmers and soldiers, cowboys and factory workers, steel workers, coal miners, police officers, and pioneers who pushed onward, marched forward, and let no obstacle stand in their path. Nothing could get in their way. Together they laid down the railroads, raised up the skyscrapers, built the great highways, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism, and launched American astronauts to the moon. It was hardworking patriots like you who built this country, and 75 days ago on November 5th, it was hardworking patriots like you who saved our country. You saved our country.
Amen.
Now, after all we have been through together, we stand on the verge of the 4 greatest years in American history. With your help, we will restore America's promise and we will rebuild the nation that we all love so much. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. We will never give in. We will never give up. We will never back down, and we will never, ever, ever, ever surrender. We will fight, 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 and we will win, win, win. And together, we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America healthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. What a great victory for everybody. Thank you, America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ah, yes. I love it. Go get him, Donald. JD. Traveled with Dr. John Stevenson and June Geiman-Stephenson here with President Donald Trump the night before he's sworn in. Having a great time. A great speech. A great victory for America and godly principles. Thank you, Jesus.
Well, good evening. Welcome to Washington. I'm Brett Baer. We're on Capitol Hill tonight. We're just 18 hours from President-elect Trump taking the oath of office. I bet you didn't see that coming. Village people with President-elect doing his dance as he's done on the campaign trail. They are now on stage there on their encore, the actual village people, singing that song that became so popular in the campaign. You know, he said in the intro, he said the special band is coming. They're slightly larger than they used to be, but that's okay. As one said, the side that has most fun usually wins. Clearly, President-elect Trump is having fun on this night, the night before his inauguration, for the second time, to usher in what is likely and expected to be many radical changes to the federal government. In fact, more than 200 specific actions, orders, executive orders, are expected to be signed in the first hours of the new Trump administration.
Fantastic.
The President-elect talking about that at that victory rally in Washington just a short time ago.
Somebody said yesterday, sir, don't sign so many in one day. Let's do it over a period of weeks. I said, like hell, we're going to do it over weeks. We're going to sign them at different
200 executive orders in the first hours. Tomorrow's inauguration ceremony has been moved indoors to the Capitol Rotunda because of the bitter cold temperatures here in Washington. The inaugural parade has also been moved, this time to that arena, Capital One Arena here in Washington, that hosted today's rally. Let's bring in our panel early. Harold Ford Jr., former Tennessee congressman, co-host of The Five. Kellyanne Conway, former senior counselor to President Trump. Alex Castellanos is a political consultant, co-founder and chairman of Purple Strategies. And Karl Rove is former deputy chief of staff to President George W. Bush. Alex, I was quoting you. The side that has most fun usually wins. He's clearly having fun.
He's having a great time, and this is another campaign rally, right? He's bringing the campaign. We've all seen those TV shows where they recap the last episode before you start the new episode. That's what this was tonight. He's catching us up on why he won, what he's going to change. He did win. So we're hoping that maybe tomorrow there's a little less of the fire and brimstone of the campaign and maybe a little bit more of the promised land where he's going to lead the country.
Kellyanne, congratulations to your Eagles.
Yes, go Birds.
Now facing our Commanders in Washington. But besides that, the big day tomorrow. What did you take from this? And the fact that 200 executive orders are going to be signed in the first hour.
Yes. I think this was also a blueprint for governing. Clearly, if these were just campaign promises, Brett, he would either not have a rally or have a rally where he's talking about governing. The fact that he's saying the same thing suggests to the American people that he heard them loudly and clearly. They voted for what he promised on the campaign trail: more security, a closed border, everyday affordability, more fairness over wokeness. Energy independence and energy dominance, I think, is probably the big issue that hasn't got enough coverage with these executive orders. We know about the deportations. We know about Remain in Mexico. We know about declaring a national emergency at the southern border. There'll also be some dereg in there. But the idea that the president can undo what has been energy ineptitude and a lack of independence and dominance under Biden, that war on fossil fuels, the war on fracking, the pausing of the LNG permits, frankly, the killing of the Keystone Pipeline jobs on day one of Biden's term, Brett, through executive order. So to undo that, I would not be surprised if President Trump tomorrow signs a few of those in the Rotunda and goes to the Capital One Arena and signs a few more on the stage. I was at Cap One Arena before I came over here today. The throngs of people outside, it was OG vintage Trump rallies. Even though he's told people, please don't be outside for your own protection, they wanted to show up and stand up for him.
Yeah, and in fact, the line, Harold, was miles. I mean, we saw it just down the block here. It went all the way through the mall and down Independence Avenue. So there's people very excited about this. The executive orders and actions, we should say, more than 200, declare a national border emergency, direct the U.S. military to work with the Department of Homeland Security to fully secure the border. It goes on and on a number of different topics. I mean, it's a flurry. It's a shock and awe that this Trump administration to be, part two, has been working on for 4 years.
It's a good day for the country. I think you sometimes can forget that inaugurations are about people celebrating and validating the person that they elected. Tomorrow, as Kellyanne and Alex, and I'm sure Carl will say as well, is the start of a new era for him. The high cost of insurance and housing and food and clothing, TikTok, tariffs, the energy deregulation, I think has gotten overlooked a bit, which I think could be really, really helpful in unleashing some of the growth the president wants. And then the serious conversations with Congress around the things that he wants to get done for the long term. Executive orders, as we all know, are great 90 to 120-day measures. But to have lasting measures, you got to work with a Congress. And the country gave him a majority, a narrow majority in the House, and a 3-seat majority in the Senate. I know Democrats, as perhaps the only one sitting on the panel here that's a guest here, I would urge my party to work with him wherever you can. Where you want to counter him with substance, not emotion. Counter him with real facts and not made up things. And understand what the country voted for this last go-round. They don't want some of the things that we campaign on. That doesn't mean that our values have to be shelved, but that means we got to begin to talk to the country and perhaps even listen before we talk.
Very wise advice.
Carl, you've been through this before, the speech, the planning, the messaging. I said earlier to Martha that I think the president-elect, soon to be president again, feels comfortable in his skin. And maybe the message in this speech tomorrow is going to be more of a reaching out that he has signaled in recent days.
Yeah, I hope so. I think Alex is right. This was the last campaign rally of the 2024 campaign. And I think also you were right. It's the preview of coming attractions. But the best part of the speech, I believe, was the last 6 or 7 minutes in which he talked about unifying the country. This is the end of politics. This is the last hour in which he can talk explicitly about politics. Tomorrow, there are going to be a lot of people tuning in who may not have voted for him or voted for him reluctantly, and they're going to be drawn by that message of the last 7 minutes that we're all in this together. We're going to rise or fall as a country if we focus on the big important things together and move forward. And I thought you could tell he was reading it off of the teleprompter. But whoever, whether it was Tony Dolan, his new speechwriter who wrote for Ronald Reagan, or others, those were good remarks, and I hope we see them back tomorrow. It's what the American people want to see. I particularly enjoyed returning to October of 1978, myself, with a closing note from the YMCA.
I will say there was some dancing on the panel. I'm not going to hide it at all. By the way, this playlist is President-elect Trump's playlist. This is Sinead O'Connor, I believe. Senior White House correspondent Peter Ducey was at the rally, is still there, joins us now from that facility. Good evening, Peter.
Good evening, Brett. And just in the few minutes since the president-elect wrapped, the handover of power continues. Just hitting the inbox, the last ever daily guidance for outgoing President Biden. It involves him attending all the inaugural events and then winding up at the end of the day on vacation in California. As for the Trump event here, it was a near capacity, if not over capacity, or at capacity, I should say, crowd. We're still waiting for the fire marshal. But tens of thousands of people were in this building, and they got exactly what they came for. The president-elect's day began with a somber visit to Arlington National Cemetery. Soon, his attention turns to a tall stack of day one executive actions.
President Trump's going to go right to work. There'll be a couple of different tranches of things that are coming.
Top of the list, promised immigration raids.
ICE is going to be, we're going to take the handcuffs off ICE that have had put on by the Biden administration. We're concentrating on public safety threats and national security threats.
Vice President-elect J.D. Vance met today with the Vice President of China about fentanyl, balancing trade, and regional stability.
Have a president in Donald Trump who's going to make sure that not just China, but every other nation abides by the rules of the United States.
Hours after TikTok went dark in the U.S. to comply with a new federal law, Trump posted on Truth Social, "I'm asking companies not to let TikTok stay dark. My initial thought is a joint venture between the current owners and or new owners, whereby the U.S. gets a 50% ownership in a joint venture set up between the U.S. and whichever purchase we so choose."
There's no risk. We're not putting up any money. All we're doing is giving them the approval, without which they don't have anything. So, I don't know. It sounds like that works. What do you think? Good? I think so. So whether you like TikTok or not, we're going to make a lot of money.
The social network, still owned by a Chinese parent company, responded. TikTok is in the process of restoring service. We thank President Trump for providing the necessary clarity and assurance to our service providers that they will face no penalties. Trump's inauguration is markedly different than 2017's.
The Wall Street Journal reports instead of taking a knee to call for social justice, NFL players are doing the Trump dance in the end zone at football games. Mainstream entertainers, among them the country singer Carrie Underwood and the rapper Snoop Dogg, agreed to perform at events celebrating Donald Trump's inauguration.
Welcome to the party. Better to have mom board than not.
This was the big event for Trump supporters who came to Washington, D.C. for the inauguration. The president-elect never mentioned the dangerous extreme cold that is the stated reason for everything being moved indoors tomorrow. But we are told by our colleagues outside this windowless arena that it is really snowing out there. Right.
It's been a whiteout all day. Peter Ducey at Capital One. Peter, thanks. Breaking tonight, also big news. The first hostages have been released as part of Israel's ceasefire deal with Hamas terrorists. The truce began today and is scheduled to last 6 weeks. Senior correspondent Mike Tobin is in Tel Aviv with the latest tonight.
In a mob of Hamas gunmen, 3 young women held hostage since October 7th, 2023, were transferred from Hamas vehicles in Gaza City to Red Cross Jeeps. They were driven to Israeli special forces and ultimately to their mothers, who waited a year and a half to see and hold them. Hundreds of Israelis gathering at what has come to be called Hostage Square cheered at their liberation. 24-year-old Romy Gonen is from the north of Israel, captured at the Nova Music Festival. 31-year-old Doron Steinbracher from a kibbutz near the Gaza Strip was kidnapped from her home. 28-year-old Emily Damery, who is British, kidnapped from the same kibbutz. Her mother released a statement. Her nightmare is already behind her, but the impossible waiting of the rest of the families is still going on. Airlifted to the Sheba Hospital in Tel Aviv, preliminary examinations show the 3 women to be in good health. Emily lost 2 fingers during the October 7th terror attack.
I know, we all know, they have been through hell. They are emerging from darkness to light. They are really going from slavery to freedom.
In exchange, 90 Palestinians are to be freed from Israel's Ofer prison near Jerusalem. 78 of them will return to the West Bank, 12 to East Jerusalem. The hostage release was preceded by a ceasefire that brought Hamas gunmen out of hiding, parading with weapons to show the deadly organization survived.
We, along with our brothers in the Palestinian resistance factions, declare our commitment to a ceasefire agreement and our readiness to implement its provisions and abide by its conditions and terms of stopping the fighting.
Thank you, President Donald Trump and Israel.
More like it. Next Saturday, another group of
and
hostages
the other
scheduled
side,
to be liberated.
Hamas.
If the ceasefire holds, another 30 hostage releases will stretch out over 6 weeks. Brett?
Mike's open live in Tel Aviv. Mike, thank you.
Catch you later, folks. Travels with Dr. John Stevenson.
Tomorrow's inauguration.
Let's keep our nation and all these hostages in our prayers and watch over our nation and our country. And thank you, citizens, for selecting Donald Trump and J.D. Vance as our president and vice president. And all of our legislators in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Lift them all up and show them love and respect. Whoops, about dropped the phone there. And show them love and respect for all of them. And God bless you all. Don't forget to listen to WIOK 107.5 FM on the radio dial, Tri-State Gospel, Falmouth, Kentucky, Post Office Box 50, Falmouth, Kentucky, zip code 41040, with Gil and Jan Hammond and Tri-State Gospel. That's 107.5 FM on the radio dial. www.begottensson.com and www.gazabiz.biz.